Coming up on High School Quiz Show Rhode Island, it's LaSalle Academy. Taking on Classical High School. That's next on High School Quiz Show Rhode Island.
Do you want to see your school on High School Quiz Show Rhode Island next season? Visit ripbs.org for details. And to stay up to date this season, follow us on social media.
Hey everybody, welcome to High School Quiz Show. I'm Joe Short. So back in October, high school teams in Rhode Island competed at our Super Saturday qualifying event to earn one of 8 spots in this year's competition. But the goal now is to become the next High School Quiz Show state champion. So today's matchup has Classical High School taking on LaSalle Academy. On the Classical team, we have Matthew, David, James, and William, with alternates Emmanuel and Mary, and Coach Chris Seminara. And for LaSalle, we have Christopher, Kelsey, Blake, and Brenna, with alternates Amelia and Anna, and Coach Christine Chapman. The competition has 4 rounds: a toss-up, a head-to-head, a category round, and a lightning round. And we will start with the toss-up round. Now, in this round, all answers are worth 10 points, and this is the only round in which there are no point deductions for wrong answers. So, if everybody is ready, I'm ready. Here we go. Which American president gave the famous Gettysburg Address in 1863? Christopher?
Abraham Lincoln.
Correct. What is the molecular formula for water? Matthew?
H2O.
Yes. Mont Blanc and Mont Rosa are the 2 highest peaks in what European mountain range system? James?
The Appalachian Mountains.
Incorrect. LaSalle? Blake?
The Alps.
Yes, the Alps is the answer there. The Bluest Eye, Beloved, and God Help the Child are novels by what first African-American woman to win the Nobel Prize in Literature who passed away in August 2019? Kelsey?
Toni Morrison.
That's the answer. What freshman congressperson unseated a 10-term incumbent and chair of the House Democratic Caucus when she won in New York's 14th district in 2018? Blake?
Ocasio-Cortez.
That's it. What word applies to a lively exchange of ideas as well as to a conversation between 2 or more people in a play or novel? James?
Dialogue.
Dialogue is the answer, yes. What is the full name of the Brown Adjacent Art School in Providence, offering both undergraduate and graduate degrees? Christopher?
RISD.
That's correct. Composed when he was barely 11 years old, Apollo at Hyacinthus was whose first true opera? Kelsey?
Beethoven.
Incorrect. Classical, you want to try?
Mozart.
Go ahead, David?
Mozart.
It is Mozart is the answer there, yes. Gondwana, Rodinia, and Pangaea are examples of what kind of prehistoric landmass? Blake?
Supercontinents.
Correct. And now look to your monitors for the next question.
Hi, I'm Jim Hummel, host of A Lively Experiment on Rhode Island PBS, and this is my question. Franklin Roosevelt appointed Frances Perkins to what group in the executive branch of government, making her the first woman to occupy a seat there?
Brenna?
Cabinet.
The cabinet, yes. The solar system's gas giants, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, have what other physical characteristic in common, once thought to be found only around Saturn? James?
Ring.
Rings, ring planets, yes. What Aldous Huxley novel imagines a genetically engineered future society whose calendar begins with the year Ford released the Model T? David?
Brave New World.
Yes. In 2016, United Nations panel determined the U.S. owes what to African Americans as atonement for slavery? William.
Reparations.
Correct. Nairobi is the capital city of what African nation? Brenna?
Kenya.
Correct. Math question, here we go. What is 25/24 plus 8/6 expressed in its simplest form? Not in the nick of time. 2 and 9/24 is the answer there. Moving on, who wrote the novel One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, a few years before playing a central role in Tom Wolfe's The Electric Kool-Aid Acid Test? Ken Kesey. The Treaty of Ghent ended the War of 1812 and was signed in what present-day nation? William.
Belgium.
Belgium's correct. Named after the Greek word for sweet, which monosaccharide is the main source of energy for most living organisms? Christopher?
Glucose.
Correct. What equal pay advocate and U.S. women's national team co-captain won the Golden Ball and Golden Boot awards at the 2019 World Cup? Blake?
Alex Morgan.
That's not the answer. Classical? Go ahead, William.
Megan Rapinoe.
That's the one there. Gutzon Borglum is the sculptor behind what national memorial in South Dakota? James?
Mount Rushmore.
Correct. Mount Whitney, the highest point in the contiguous 48 states, is only 76 miles from what lowest point in North America? Blake?
Death Valley.
Correct. Slovenia, Croatia, and Serbia are 3 of the states that once made up what socialist federal republic? William?
Yugoslavia.
Correct. What autonomous territory of the Kingdom of Denmark did President Donald Trump seek to purchase in 2019? Who's that, Blake?
Greenland.
Correct. They didn't go for it. Earth's lithosphere is made up of what kind of major, minor, and micro plates? For example, the Pacific, Eurasian, and Indo-Australian. William?
Tectonic plates.
Correct. Another math question. What form of linear equation is typically represented by y equals mx plus b? Blake?
A slope.
Need a little more from you?
A slope equation.
Does it get that? Nope, I'm sorry, classical. James?
Slope form intercept.
Slope intercept is the words we need to hear there. Thank you. Elie Wiesel was a Holocaust survivor and renowned academic known for what memoir about his time in Auschwitz and Buchenwald? William?
Knight.
Correct. What Hungarian immigrant to the U.S. edited and published the New York World newspaper and later gave his name to an award for journalism? James? Almost. LaSalle? Go ahead, Brenna.
Pulitzer.
Pulitzer is the answer there. Jasper Johns, Keith Haring, and Andy Warhol are 3 well-known painters of what movement and style that began in the 1950s? Kelsey?
Pop art.
Correct. English political economist Arnold Toynbee popularized what 2-word term in describing Britain's economic development from 1760 to 1840? Blake?
Industrial Revolution.
Correct. Immortalized in an Austrian waltz, what river runs from the Black Forest in Germany to the Black Sea on the Ukraine-Romania border? Brenna?
Danube.
The Danube River, yes. From the Latin for sewer, what is the anatomical term for a shared digestive and reproductive chamber? James?
Intestine.
No, not quite. LaSalle, want to try? Cloaca is the word there. What disputed and landlocked region between India and Pakistan has been the source of ongoing conflict since 1947? Blake?
Kashmir.
Correct. What author, born in Massachusetts in 1894, might be best known for writing his poems almost entirely in lowercase letters? David?
Robert Frost.
That's not the one, LaSalle. Blake?
Emerson.
No, not quite. Cummings is who we're looking for there. Who was president when Israeli Prime Minister Menachem Begin and Egyptian President Anwar Sadat signed the Cape David Accords? David?
Jimmy Carter.
Jimmy Carter. What is the capital of Paraguay? Christopher?
Asuncion.
That's correct. What 2019 recipient of the Presidential Medal of Freedom is a supply-side economist who gave his name to a famous curve? Did he make it? No, you didn't make it. Arthur Lafer is what we're looking for there. Who painted President Obama's official portrait, unveiled in 2018 and now hanging in the National Portrait Gallery in Washington, D.C.? Kehinde Wiley. The first Earth Day was held on April 22, 1970, just months before President Nixon established which regulatory body responsible for the Clean Air Act? David?
The EPA.
Correct. In 2013, United States versus Windsor overturned Section 3 of what Clinton-era law that defined marriage as one man, one woman? I didn't quite make it. The Defense of Marriage Act. And colonized by Europeans just a few hundred years ago, what island nations' Aboriginal peoples have a history of over 50,000 years of continuous and complex cultures and religions? Blake?
Australia.
Australia is the correct answer there. Oh, and that means it's the end of the round. We'll take a look at the scores. Classical High School with 150 points. LaSalle Academy with 180 points. Really good start to the game. Let's give it up for both teams. The head-to-head round is next, but first let's take a few minutes to get to know the players. So, I have a question for you, and you will throw an answer towards me, and the question is this: what do you love most about your school? And we're going to start with classical, so Matthew, what do you love most about your school?
I like the community it builds.
The community it builds, yeah. And where do you see that community building happening?
All around the school, in and out of it, yeah.
Okay, cool. David, how about you?
I love Mr. Seminara.
Oh, wow. Gunning for a better grade or some kind of reward. Nice. Subtle, David, very subtle. James, what do you got?
I'd have to say I love the swimming pool on the 4th floor.
You're lying. You guys have a swimming pool on your 4th floor?
You have to go to find out.
Fair. William, what about you?
The people that I learn with.
Okay, like your classmates and
Yeah, my
peers?
classmates. Yeah.
Cool. Excellent, nice answers, guys. Okay, over to LaSalle. Christopher, what do you think?
I love the variety of activities we have at LaSalle, whether it be academic or artistic or service related. There's something for everyone here.
Great, and when you're not doing this, is there another activity that you tend to be involved in?
Yeah, I'm like on student council and I do service a lot, so.
Excellent. Well done, Christopher. Kelsey, how about you?
The community and our theater and arts programs.
Theater and arts programs. Are you an actor?
No, but I work on sets.
Oh, on the sets. Excellent. So behind the scenes. Great. Valuable work. How about you, Blake?
I love the teachers because they help us to strive to do our best, and when we don't understand things, they make themselves available to help us out.
Yeah, putting in the extra hours. That's awesome, Blake. I'm sure they appreciate your appreciation. Brenna, how about you?
Yeah, really the sense of community. Even though we all contribute to the sense of community differently, we all work to support each other.
Lovely. Sounds like a great place to go to school. All right, you ready to play the next round? We're going into the head-to-head round next. So classical, LaSalle, come on down. We're going to go head-to-head. We are about to go head-to-head. I've got LaSalle to my left and classical to my right. Shake hands, gentlemen, and we'll get started. So as a reminder, in this round, you get 10 points for correct answers. Incorrect answers, however, will cost you 10 points, but you can buzz in at any time. So the clock is set at 90 seconds. Here we go. What bridge spans the strait that connects the San Francisco Bay to the Pacific Ocean?
Golden Gate.
Correct. The first military battles of the American Revolution, fought on April 19, 1775, took place...
Lexington and Concord.
Correct. What two-word name applies to 0 degrees longitude, an imaginary line going through Greenwich, England?
Prime meridian.
Correct. The elected chief executive of an American city is called what?
Mayor.
Yes. Hamlet's to be or not to be speech is an example of what specific type of onstage monologue? Soliloquy. Teen climate activist Greta Thunberg from what northern country began a school strike in 2018 that has since gone global?
Norway?
Nope, Sweden. Discovered in 1799, what inscribed piece of granodiorite was the key to understanding Egyptian hieroglyphics?
Rosetta Stone.
Correct. In Nathaniel Hawthorne's The Scarlet Letter, what character wears the titular A?
Hester Prynne.
Correct. The original Kololo name of what waterfall on the border of Zambia and Zimbabwe means the smoke that thunders? Victoria Falls. Eli Whitney was an American inventor best known for what invention that...
Cotton gin?
Correct. Snowball, Napoleon, and Clover are some of the characters in what George Orwell...
Animal Farm.
Correct. Consular Affairs and the Office of Global Criminal Justice fall under which executive branch department of the United States government?
Department of Justice.
Nope. State. Oh, and we are out of time. And right now the score is Classical 190 points, LaSalle 210 points. It is a close game. Give it up for both teams. Next up, the category round with the following categories. Just One More, That's What She Said, Super Bowel, Great Lengths, An Honor to Be Nominated, and Despot Depot. So each category has 5 questions with increasing point values. And players, you can confer in this round. However, once you buzz in, you are no longer allowed to confer, and I will then need your answer. So, Classical High School, you have a little bit of room to make up, so you guys get to select the first round. What's it going to be?
We're going to select Despot Depot for 10.
Despot Depot, these are questions about dictators and warlords. So for 10 points, what Iraqi head of state was ousted, captured, and hanged during the Second Persian Gulf War after 24 years in power? Blake?
Saddam Hussein.
Correct. And now, LaSalle, you have the board.
Despot Depot for 15, please.
Despot Depot for 15 points. Officially titled Quotations from Chairman Mao Zedong, by what color is the little book colloquially known? William?
Red.
Correct. Classical, your board.
Despot Depot for 20.
Despot Depot for 20 points. General Augusto Pinochet led a regime responsible for tens of thousands of kidnappings, killings, and disappearances in which South American nation? Chile. Classical, you still have the board.
Despot Depot for 25.
Despot Depot for 25 points. Depicted by Forrest Whitaker in 2006's The Last King of Scotland, Idi Amin earned the title Butcher of what East African nation during his decade-long dictatorship? Uganda is the answer there. Classical, select again.
That's What She Said for 10.
That's what she said. These are questions about quotable women. So for 10 points, whose memoir Becoming was the fastest selling book of 2018? Christopher.
Michelle Obama.
Obama is correct. You have the board now.
We're going to continue with That's What She Said for 15, please.
That's what she said for 15 points. What German teenager is known by the diary she wrote during World War II and for the 2+ years she spent in hiding with her family in Amsterdam? Christopher.
Anne Frank.
And Frank is correct. Select again, LaSalle.
We're going to continue with That's What She Said for 20, please.
That's what she said for 20 points. Starting in 1996 on her eponymous television show, whose book club selections have had a direct effect on literary sales and publishing for both new titles and classics? Blake?
Oprah.
Correct. Select again, LaSalle.
That's What She Said for 25, please.
That's what she said for 25 points. Credited with several inspirational and keenly observed remarks, what longest-serving First Lady of the United States said, "You must do the things you think you cannot do"? William?
Eleanor Roosevelt.
That's correct. And now, Classical, you have the board.
Just One More.
Just one more. These are questions about amendments to the U.S. Constitution. For 10 points, what lobbying organization calls itself America's foremost defender of Second Amendment rights? David?
The NRA.
Correct. Select again, Classical.
Just One More for 15.
Just one more, for 15 points. A grand jury, prohibition of double jeopardy, the right to due process, and freedom from self-incrimination are all parts of which amendment to the Bill of Rights? Kelsey?
The Fifth Amendment.
That's correct. LaSalle, your board now.
We're going to go back to That's What She Said for 30.
That's what she said for 30 points. Science and everyday life cannot and should not be separated, said what scientist whose work imaging DNA laid the foundation for confirming the shape of that structure? Matthew?
Marie Curie.
No, that's not it. LaSalle, you want to try? Yes, Kelsey?
Rosalind Franklin.
That's the one there. So LaSalle, you have the board back.
We're going to go with An Honor to Be Nominated for 10, please.
An honor to be nominated. These are questions about movies that did not win Best Picture Oscars. So for 10 points, winner of 2 music Oscars, what 1939 classic changed the silver shoes in L. Frank Baum's book to the ruby red ones, now on display at the Smithsonian? Yes, Brenna?
Wizard of Oz.
That's correct. Select again, LaSalle.
Just one more for 20.
Just one more for 20 points. Congressional pay raises go into effect after the beginning of the next election cycle, thanks to which number amendment that is both the newest and took the longest to ratify? Brenna?
The 27th.
Correct. Select again.
In order to be nominated for 15, please.
An honor to be nominated for 15 points. Gregory Peck plays Atticus Finch in the 1962 adaptation of To Kill a Mockingbird, one of only 2 novels ever published by what author? Kelsey?
Harper Lee.
Correct. Select again, LaSalle.
We're going to stick with an honor to be nominated.
And why not? An honor to be nominated for 20 points. What former Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan was played by Topher Grace in Spike Lee's Black Klansman? David?
David Duke.
That's correct. Classical, you're bored now.
We'll go with just one more for 25.
Just one more for 25 points. Sentencing a minor to the death penalty is a violation of the Cruel and Unusual Punishments Clause of which amendment to the Bill of Rights? David?
Amendment.
It's the 8th Amendment. Yes, select again.
Just one more for 30, please.
Just one more for 30 points. 1989's Texas v. Johnson enshrined what controversial and symbolic form of expression under First Amendment protected free speech? Brenna?
Burning the flag.
That's correct. You're bored, LaSalle.
An honor to be nominated for 25.
An honor to be nominated for 25 points. Apocalypse Now is Francis Ford Coppola's psychedelic epic about American soldiers fighting what unwinnable war? James?
Vietnam War.
That's it. Classical, select.
Super Bowl for 10.
Super bowels. These are questions about the digestive system. So for 10 points, secreted by glands in the mouth and throat, what fluids amylase enzymes play a crucial role in the first steps of digestion? William?
Saliva.
That's it. Select again.
We'll do Super Bowl for 15.
Super bowel for 15 points. Which organ produces bile, which is critical for digesting and absorbing fats? William?
The stomach.
No. LaSalle, you want to try? Brenna?
Gallbladder.
No, it's the liver. The liver. But that's all right. Classical, you get select again.
We'll do Super Bowl for 20.
Super bowel for 20 points. Hydrochloric acid and small quantities of potassium chloride and sodium chloride are secreted by which digestive organ? William?
The stomach.
The stomach. That's the stomach. I was going to go forward. Select again.
We'll do Super Bowl for 25.
I thought you might. Super bowel for 25 points. The esophagus and the intestines all experience what, which is defined as muscle contractions in tubular organs that propel the contents onward? Peristalsis. Select again, classical.
We'll do Great Lengths for 10.
Great lengths. These are questions about Great Lakes. So for 10 points, which of the Great Lakes is the largest by far? William?
Lake Superior.
Correct. Select again. Oh, we're having fun. That's the end of the category round. And right now, Classical has 295 points. LaSalle, 370 points. Let's hear it for both teams. Okay, we are heading into the final 90 seconds of gameplay, the lightning round. So in this round, you get 20 points for each correct answer. Incorrect answers, however, will cost you 20. The clock is set, and here we go. What Charlotte Bronte title character finds work as a governess in Thornfield Hall and eventually marries Mr. Rochester? Brenna?
Emma.
Nope. Jane Eyre. What cabinet department was created in 2002 as a reaction to the September 11th attacks in 2001? Christopher?
The Department of Homeland Security.
Correct. When using your internet browser, what do the letters HTTP stand for? Matthew.
Tux transfer protocol.
That's correct. Who is the only person to ever serve as the President of the United States and Supreme Court Justice? David.
William Howard Taft.
Correct. What is Rhode Island's state motto? Brenna?
Hope.
Correct. What Polish astronomer is known as the most influential proponent of the heliocentric model of the universe? David.
Copernicus.
Yes. The region known as Patagonia can be found in Chile and what other South American? Blake.
Argentina.
Correct. Vaccinating a large enough portion of a population ensures what is known as herd what? Matthew?
Immunity.
Immunity is correct. Who was crowned the first Holy Roman Emperor in the year 800? Kelsey?
Charlemagne.
Charlemagne, correct. Inspired by McCarthyism in the 1950s, who wrote The Crucible? Kelsey?
Arthur Miller.
Correct. The Fertile Crescent in the Middle East is often referred to as the cradle of what? David?
Civilization.
Correct. What is the... Oh, and that sound is the end of the game. And LaSalle is our winner this week with a final score of 450 points. Classical, our runner-up, with 395 points. Congratulations to both teams for a great game. So, LaSalle will move on to play in the semifinals. Be sure to tune in for that. And we will see you back here next week for more High School Quiz Show.
Do you want to see your school on High School Quiz Show Rhode Island next season? Visit ripbs.org for details. And to stay up to date this season, follow us on social media.